West Ham and West Brom both have changed their manager back in November, but start the new year in the bottom three. Listen, welcome back to Irons United's YouTube channel. Happy New Year to all you West Ham fans. We're now in 2018. We are unbeaten this year, so we haven't played any games, but we come up against a West Bromich Albion who have not won a game in 4 months, and they have been struggling. They've come off a fantastic draw with Arsenal, and now up step or welcome West Ham. We are tonight joined by Richard Fasten, just in the middle there, and look all the way over on the other side. Luke's not feeling that well tonight, so please give him sympathy, guys. Please give him sympathy.
No, I don't about that.
So yeah, guys, listen, I mean, there's loads of talk that West Brom haven't won a game for what, Rich, you said something like 18 odd games. It's been over 4 months since he last won a game. It's game number 8 for Alan Pardew, which I was quite shocked at. I didn't realise it was gone so quick. But they travel and come to our home ground. We are back at the London Stadium. What are your thoughts, Rich, on the up and coming game?
I think it's an absolute must-win game for us. There's no two ways about it. We've been saying this for a number of weeks now, but you look at the form that West Brom find themselves in. They are on a torrid run of form. Can't buy a point, can't buy a win. But you know, in the past, up step West Ham. Whenever a team needs a result and needs a performance, West Ham seem to be the gift that just keeps giving. But I think I personally think we'll have enough to get a result tomorrow against West Brom, and we just have to be at our best. We need to show the crowd what we can do and put in some good performances, because we've been a bit inconsistent of late. But yeah, it's a massive game and a massive chance for us to elevate ourselves in the table, because we have 2 games in hand on quite a few teams.
Yeah, I mean, we finished the new year, look, in the bottom 3. It's not a good sign. At least it's not bottom. But what are your thoughts on the up and coming game?
It's one of them games, innit? I think you go. I think if Pulis was still in charge of him, you might get a more back to the wall job and try and rescue any sort of point they could do. But with Pardew back, there's still that kind of ex-West Ham manager mentality. You might want to go and get one over on one of his former clubs. I haven't watched a great deal of them actually under Pardew, but I have watched a few highlights, and they seem to be more determined to get points than they were under Pulis anyway. They're setting more determination to score goals and get something out of games. But as Rich says, and as it says, you know, typical thing with West Ham, you know, these teams that haven't scored, haven't got points, haven't done this, haven't done that. They come to West Ham, we like, yeah, here you go, mate, here's a free pass. We do it all the time. It becomes a bit, you know, we expect it now. The only thing we can do is play our game and see if we can match them and do better than them, basically.
Exactly. I mean, today is New Year's Day, so again, just want to wish you all Happy New Year. We've been linked with every player. Yeah. With every player and his uncle, auntie, granddad, nephew, niece, brother, sister. I mean, you name it. Like, if we believed every single transfer rumour out there, we'd be signing John Joe Shelby, Messi, Ronaldo, and Assam Balonga from Nottingham Forest, which, by the way, is a shout from me personally. But
you done well there to say that.
Assam Balonga. So yeah, we're coming into this kind of crazy time. The window's open. We know we need to strengthen. We'll keep the kind of transfer talk for a kind of later show. But we're without Antonio. It looks like he's not going to make the game. Potentially looks like Martin Noble's not going to make the game. So we're going to keep this kind of short and sweet tonight. But where do you think we're going to kind of line up, Rich? Who do you think is going to enter the team? I mean, is it time for Chicharito to start?
I personally love him to start, but I don't know what it is with David Moyes, but he clearly doesn't fancy him. And we've seen that for the last couple of games. When Chicha could be starting, he's on the bench. Saka, I think we all know, is off this transfer window, so I don't even think he's going to be in the squad, if I've read correctly. So the real question is... Sorry. No worries, mate. The real question is who we go up front with. And I'm not sure if he'll go with Carroll, because I think Carroll actually is fit. But I just don't see Chicharito starting. I wish he would, but I don't know what Moyes has got against him. In the midfield, I think Aubameyang will play again, obviously. Whether Declan Rice gets a chance will be something that has to be seen. But yeah, Moyes he hasn't really stuck with a stable side from day one. He's kind of mixed and matched where possible. But I think we just need to get Masuaku on the ball, Arnautovic on the ball, and punish them where we can. But I'm not too sure lineup-wise what Moisey's going to go with, Ant.
I think, look, there's a lot of talk about whether or not Mark Noble will make the game tomorrow. I think he may take a late fitness test. But if he passes that fitness test, does he enter straight back into that team for you, Luke?
Yeah, he does. Going from the games, and I'll be one of the first to hold my hands up and say the last few games he's played out of his socks. Humble pie for me, because I think I thought he was past it, over the hill, whatever you want to call it, and he's really upped his game. And he's one of our best players against Stoke and etc. It was a shame that he lost out. I think we do lose that bit of West Ham captaincy and the boss in the midfield carrying the team. So hopefully, if he does come in, he goes straight back into form and not just has to carry on through the injury and whatever. But it could be one of them things where if he does start again, he's risking another injury, which is what I say all the time, is the fact that we do. There's so many of our players. I think Antonio, for me, mentioned there, has been played 3 or 4 games that he shouldn't have been playing. And I know he made the impact that he did, and it was good that he did play in those games. He made that impact and he had whatever he'd done. But I used to look at Antonio before he got injured properly, and used to think this is cringe watching him run. So I thought, here he goes, he's going to pull up in a second now, and hopefully I'm not going to get the same thing with Noble. And if Noble isn't to start, I would really like to see something like Rice to start in that midfield. And
he's played there, Luke.
Exactly. I watched him come against Stoke, and he was brilliant. He was a time with I don't know, the stream I was watching, it was pretty bad. Certain stand or whatever, but after time looked like, is this Lanzini or is this Rice running around? And the fact is right now, players like Chiarte who are in that position where they can tackle in the midfield and take the ball forward and make things happen, ain't doing it right now. And players like Rice, when he does play, are. So if Noble does come in, fantastic, get back in there, boys, start doing your stuff. If someone like Rice comes in again, they have that useful exuberance and go from there. So hopefully, whoever plays has a great game.
Listen, there's a player that's been hot on the topic of every West Ham fan. He's been currently playing, and he's been in the starting side for Borussia Mönchengladbach, and he's now officially returned to West Ham. He's fit, he's currently match fit, he's back in the squad. Do we give him a shot? Reece Oxford, Rich.
Yeah.
Just in case any of you didn't know what I was talking about.
I'm Reece Oxford's one of his biggest fans. I thought he was fantastic when he first came into the side under Bilic, when he had Ozil in his pocket at the Emirates and we battered them. I think what kind of happened with him going over to Germany was a bit of a pity in my opinion, because I thought that he had a lot of potential and he'd shown his class under Bilic. For some reason, towards the end of the season, he didn't get as much game time, and then when we moved to the new stadium, Oxford got very little game time. So I'd love to see him come back. There's no point bringing him back from Mönchengladbach if he's not going to play. Yeah. So I'd hate for him to come back and then for Moyes to just sit him on the bench, which I can actually see happening. I don't see Moyes playing Oxford. I think he just loves Obiang and Chiarte too much. They're too comfortable, those two in the centre of the park. But yeah, I'd personally love to see the likes of Declan Rice and Reece Oxford getting game time, because as Luke said, I thought Rice was fantastic at Stoke. He's been brilliant this season, bar the stuff he had against Newcastle. And he just brings composure to our team. I feel like Obiang and Chiarte at times almost hide. They don't want the ball. But Rice is the first one to put up his hand and say, give me the ball. He's not scared to take it, spread it wide. So yeah, I'd love to see Oxford and Rice in around the team, definitely.
I find it a really weird move that a player can be playing games in the German Bundesliga, doing alright. Borussia Mönchengladbach put out a couple of statements saying that he has returned to the club, but they remain in negotiations to try and make the move permanent. So they've completely put their name out there. Reece Oxford's tweeting a few things, which again, do you know what? That's what players do, end of. But I find it really weird that why West Ham would pull him back if they weren't going to play him. But I wouldn't put it past them if they weren't going to play him, to be honest, because is it a move to try and generate money incoming, or is it a move to say, Moyes, you ain't spending any more money? So we've got another player for you in your arsenal, because the squad's thin, as we know. So, I mean, what do you think, Luke?
Yeah, I think you got to spot on kind of the end bit there, saying it's basically bringing players in that we allegedly can on the cheap, basically anyway, rather than bringing them in for money and more cost. Oxford's a weird one, a really weird one, because he had that obviously a standing game against Arsenal And then that next game against Leicester, I think it was, after that he was sort of went into oblivion, like no one heard anything about him at all. Had that loan spell, Reading, legendary player Jack Stam was almost like perfect player to train him and get him educated. He had to have a decent career and all that, and then that never worked out, apparently due to his ego or whatever you want to call it. Goes to Germany, and I had to follow it. It's been like it's been a roller coaster journey for him since he's been over there. Either he's going to play and he's not playing, then the club want him, then the club want to send him back, then the club want to buy him outright. It's been a roundabout, and so for me, it's almost as if Mönchengladbach are loaning him to us for 6 months, and then they're going to take him back on a permanent deal.
Yeah. It's
almost as if like he's their player, but they're going to loan him to us.
We've had
like he's our player,
On that, we've had some interesting information come through though in the live chat from one of our guys, actually, Matt, and he's actually saying he was actually playing right wing back for Borussia, starting instead of Zaba. I mean, for me, I'm really worried about the right back or the right wing back situation with Zabaleta. I think he's a great professional, but I think he's been caught out too many times and he's becoming our biggest weakest link in the side. And I am keen to see something change there, whether that be Sam Byron when he comes back to fitness. But I think that any team that comes to the London Stadium, the size of the park, will see a player like Zabaleta and think, do you know what, he is a weak link because he jumps in all the time and he gets caught out of position. So, I mean, that's a good shout, I suppose. I mean, we've got a match fit player, we've got Reece Oxford, we've got Declan Rice who can cover those positions. But is he going to drop Kouati? Rich?
Yeah. I don't think so. Obviously, Kouati a couple of seasons ago, also again under Bilic, was spectacular. He was a tank in the centre of the park, box-to-box midfielder. Pundits were comparing him to the likes of Vieira, which is a massive compliment to the likes of Kouati. But this season and towards the end of last season, he's faded in my opinion. He hasn't been that force that we all know he can be. But I personally think Moyes will start Kouati if Kouati is fit, which I think he is. And going back to the Oxford and Rice conversation that we're having, I think West Ham have got to start building our squad around players like Oxford and Rice because they are our future. And if we continue to produce good players from the academy and sell them, then you know what, the academy is making money, but it's not improving our side. So, yeah, I think he will start Kouati going back to the first.
Here's a good point. What is the future of our team when we've got a manager who's only in till the summer? Like, the more I think about this whole transfer window, all the rumours of all these players coming in, there's not really many that fill me with much. Like, if we were talking a year ago and we were signing these players, we'd all be gutted. There's maybe the odd one, like that, is it Schürrle? I can't even pronounce his name. Schürrle, yeah. I mean, I'd be delighted with him. I think he'd be a decent signing, but out with that, I don't see anyone else there, and I don't know why players are potentially. I know this is not transfers, but I don't see why players are potentially going to come to our side after all the public talk that we do, and we've got a manager who's only temporary. I mean, what are you going to... For me personally, we've only got the attraction of players of John Joe Shelby's ability. Not that I'm ripping into John Joe Shelby, but I think John Joe Shelby knows maybe I've got a shelf life at a football club. Maybe I can go make a fresh start and get another couple of seasons out of a team that's maybe struggling in the Premier League. Maybe they get relegated, maybe I'll do well in the Championship. Thoughts on that, Rich? Sorry, not that I'm being negative.
No, I think you've brought up transfer talk and stuff, and I think a player that we're dying out for is William Carvalho. Yeah. Because of the form of Kouati, because of the form of Obiang haven't quite been added. I just feel like he is one missing link that would really sort us out in the midfield, where this season we've been overrun in many games. But obviously, what you've mentioned with Moyes, it's difficult for players to come in not knowing what future manager they have. If Moyes signs him, then we get a new manager in 6 months' time, and he doesn't fancy Carvalho. You know what? That's an interesting one for debate. But I think that's one man we've got to go out and do the business with. Pay the extra $3 million. I don't give a toss. Just get the deal done.
Yeah, absolutely. Luke.
Well, I signed Carvalho on free for he was shit, so hopefully that's not an omen for if he actually does sign him. 50 million I spent on him as well, he was wank, sitting on free time. Anyway, you're right, we've got to realise that no players we're going to be linked with. There's three categories you've got to think of here, right? First of all, as you said, Moyes is on a 6-month contract, right? He's on it's 2 or 6 month contract if he keeps us up. We're in a relegation zone. we then have owners that aren't willing to spend gallons of money on players, and are also very likely to stick their foot in it in the public media, where agents go, yeah, no, it's all right, mate, don't go to them. So we've basically got to just build about 40,000 bridges to get them over, and sweet talk them into coming to the club. So it's got to the point now where even if you want a decent player, even if he's quite a feasible, reasonable player to come to our club, we're making more obstacles for ourselves than we need to. So we're going to be linked with players like John Gill Shelby who don't really need to come to the club or aren't really in a position where we should be going for. We would like to go for players of better standard, but right now we're linked with Sherlock. It's fantastic because we need players, as much players as possible with speed and pace and all the rest of it. But we ain't going to be linked with the Messiahs of the Premier League. We ain't going to be. In fact, if we go for a very, very astute Championship player, it would be more expected than anything else. It would be, light up the field or anything, get any more fans in to see the games. But I think we've got to hold our horses and really just sort of like hold on tight for this transfer window, because I don't think there's going to be any decent quality much coming in. I think we all just must get us over that hill, keep us up as far as we can, go from there.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, let's go back onto West Brom and let's talk about they're missing a few of their players. A dangerous striker, Solomon Rondon, is missing for the game. Chadley is also missing, James Morrison is missing, and Johnny Evans, I mean, I don't really get the hype personally. It's not, I mean, there's talk of bigger sides in the top four looking at him. Is it a season's pro that they want to sit on the bench, or is he that good? Is he that good? Yeah, he played for Manchester United. Well, yeah, he won some championships, but Rich, what's your thoughts on the whole Johnny Evans situation? Because it looks like he is available for selection.
Johnny Evans is a strange one, because when he signed for West Brom, I kind of thought, he's coming towards the end of his career. He's done what he's needed to do at United, and he'll play for West Brom and he'll be decent. And then suddenly City came in with a 18 million bid for him, like a season ago, and that was ridiculous, because I personally don't see that. I'm with you, Ant. I don't really see where all the hype's coming from. West Brom under Pulis, they've been fairly tight at the back, but they've still leaked goals and haven't done anything amazing. But I think Pardew will start him because he's I think one of West Brom's best centre backs. I know they've got Dawson, Macaulay. I'm not sure. I think they're struggling at the back with injuries, so I think he'll slot in there. But we've got to really go in and attack and put them under pressure, because we can nick a goal or two, their confidence will be shattered, and hopefully that will be enough for us to get the 3 points. Did you say that Rondon's out?
Yeah, it looks like it, according to some of the sources we're looking at. It looks like Rondon is out. But
yeah, that's good. That's good, because he's decent. He hasn't been great this season, but he's always a threat for them. So they'll probably go with Hal Robson-Kanu up top, the Welsh striker. Yeah. He's got a goal in him every couple of games, so he's a threat. But yeah, I'll back us.
I mean, we've got the man who's currently on form, Big Arnie. And I tell you what, look, like I'll give you your dues, because you saw a lot more than what I saw. It took me a couple of more games.
Credit to Luke on that one.
It took me a lot more games.
No,
it took me a few more games to see what you had saw. But this guy is on form. He's where he needs to be. He's fast. He's West Ham. He's wearing West Ham badge on his sleeve with pride, and he's giving everything to the fans that we want. So, I mean, we need to really maximise his current form. What are your thoughts on the whole Arnautovic and his kind of situation where he's going to play tomorrow? Do we just give him the free roll?
Well, yeah, I think it's one of them things where, I mean, both his goals against Bournemouth were kind of poachers' goals. I mean, where he just happens to be there, like cutting in from the wing, where Begovic slipped and got it from there. The other was a tap in from Hernandez, shot and spilled it again. That's just lucky. That's just luck. That's just being there at the time. Yeah. But generally, I think it's one of them things. I think we've not been playing a formation really where, as much as we saw Antonio as being the makeshift striker, he wasn't. He was cutting into the wing just as much as Arnautovic was. We weren't really playing with an out-and-out striker. We haven't been for the last few games. But he's been coming in, and I think he's been playing every free role anyway. That's what he's just been doing. He's been going up forward, calls the back opposition trouble, and get running around them all the time. The thing about West Brom is that they're a physical team, and they've always been a physical team. And they ain't going to let him just run around and do what they like. In much respect, kind of think the same thing with Andy Carroll, where there's going to be 2 or 3 men at a time on him. If that ball comes to him in the air, they're going to be around him. But the thing about Arnie, he's got a bit of skill to him as well.
Yeah.
So what we need to do, for me, I think, is that you're going to have Masuaku on the left wing. That left wing for us, for the last few games, has been absolutely our best asset for me. Masuaku on the left wing, sending balls through Arnie in the centre, or Antonio in the centre, and Arnie on the right wing. But look, Arnie's his own man. Sometimes you don't even need to tell him what to do. Just do what he does. The team in a minute, just go like, give him the ball, and just let him go for it. Let him score a few goals and do what he does.
I tell you what, look though, like when we first signed him, that's I think what we all thought we were going to get and what we kind of wanted, and he never obviously provided that. And now he's doing it. We're kind of excited by it. But if you think back to the Bournemouth game and you think about his partnership just at the end of the game with Hernandez, well, I've been calling out for it for so long. I'm like, just put the bloody 2 together. It's from the start.
Let it go, yeah.
I can't.
You won't let it go. Hernandez deal.
Let it go. Let it go.
Don't blame you.
But the point is, he actually came on and he made a difference. Chicharito did, and he, in theory, set up the goal for Arnautovic for the tap in because he was there in the right place at the right time. You can see the guy's instincts. You can see he came on late sub against Arsenal, hit the bar. He came on late for the rest of the games, and he's effective. He crossed that ball in for Sacco, who then tried to backheel it in the back of the net. For me personally, I think it's a chance for them to start. I'm slightly worried at the David Moyes situation because he's got history with Chicharito. He doesn't play him. He's not played him much at Manchester United, and that kind of spurred on the whole kind of original move away from Manchester United. But surely, I mean, what's he got to lose? Who else is there? Like, yeah, okay, we've got Carroll on the bench. Sacco looks like he's not travelling with the squad, as you said, Rich.
Yeah.
It's surely it's time for Chicharito and Arnautovic to be unleashed on the Premier League, and do you know what? Yeah, against a team that's struggling, why not? What have we got to lose?
Points.
Points.
Just gonna say the obvious.
I'd definitely play Hernandez if I was Moyes. But the bottom line is, if you look at the last few games, to have Carroll, Sacco, and Hernandez on the bench, and to start Antonio, who's not fit, he's struggling, he's not a centre forward. The fact that he's putting Antonio ahead of the fact that he's starting Antonio ahead of Hernandez is just bonkers, in my opinion. How can you have 3 strikers on a bench and start a right winger who sometimes plays as a right back as a centre forward? It's just madness, and that's where last couple of games I've got annoyed with Moyes, because he's kind of setting up, not knowing where his goal's going to come from, and hoping that Arnautovic comes to the party. And if Arnie doesn't, then we're screwed.
Listen, we've got 2 games in 3 days. We've got West Brom at home, Tottenham away at Wembley. We've got a thin squad. Like, is he going to start risking? Is he thinking, do you know what, Chicharito will save these players, or is he going to think to himself, I'm going to unleash Andy Carroll against Tottenham? Like, we don't really know. The thing is, and the thing we're starting to find about for the whole season, especially under Bilic, we didn't, going into every single game, we didn't know who was going to start, and we didn't know tactics. I feel like we're finally starting to work out tactics ever so slightly. Although, if he does play Hernandez, it's going to just completely throw everyone's guessing game away. But, look, what are your thoughts on that whole kind of up-front malarkey?
You have got a point. I mean, the fact is, you kind of got, especially up front, you've got a sort of a scenario where you have 2 or 3 players that can be helped back and say, right, you're going to play this game in X, Y, Z, you're going to play this game. But you've got the old thing where if, say, he just starts Arnie up front and keeps Hernandez and Carroll as a partnership for the next game, if Arnie scores a hat-trick in the first game and does really well up front, Masuaku as a blinder, if he's playing on the right wing as a blinder, you get the whole thing of, well, why change it? Just beat West Brom 3-0. Why change it? For a massive game of Tottenham, you don't want to rock the boat too much. So in that respect, it's kind of like, well, you could do that, and that's an ideal world. You'd have a fantastic world-class team. You could Man City, play however you want, win 5-0 every game. For me, I think you have to play it by team. You have to play it by our position. For the position we're in right now. So if you want to go more attacking against West Brom, do it. Put 4-4-2 out. Put Arnie in and Hernandez up top, or Carroll top, or put one on top. But make sure that Tottenham are going to attack us more than West Brom are. Let's be honest. So you're going to go with a more defensive team against Tottenham. So maybe you have to put a 2 for West Brom and then 1 up for Tottenham. But whatever happens, I think you have to decipher it for each team, really.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading some comments there, and people are saying to us here, No, you have to go all out
Get
tomorrow.
Luke off this shit.
You have to go all out tomorrow. Mark Hughes tried a tactic against Chelsea at the weekend, lost 5-0, brought the first team back in today for Newcastle and still lost 1-0. So again, Matt's saying that we just need to go hardcore and go for it, I think. So for me personally, I just want to see Chicharito, I want to see Arnautovic, and I feel like it would be a nice boost for the fans to be able to see, do you know what, we're going attacking. Like, I would look at that team sheet with whoever's behind them and go, yeah, we are going attacking against this side who are struggling. And I'm not going to make the same mistake I did when we played Newcastle. I mean, do you know what, I'm telling you something right now, and Alan Pardew, just before he took the job at West Brom, when West Ham were looking for a manager, he pretty much turned around and said yeah, he would take the job at West Ham. So he's always got an eye on West Ham, he's always had an eye on West Ham. And I tell you what, he's been probably dissecting West Ham since he's left, or this season in particular when he's been out of work. So he probably knows when teams come to the London Stadium, he knows our weaknesses, and then we do have a weakness there just now. So he's going to try and maximise his team. And do you know what? He's not scared of playing youth. He's been our manager. We know he puts a lot of younger players in. So I don't think that's going to go for it.
I guarantee he just sits there and goes, why the fuck did I not just play Mascherano? Why did I just play this? Why did I not?
Hayden Mullins.
Mullins is a good player.
He was a good player,
you know, he was a decent player.
Yeah, I think no, it's fine. I think the biggest thing for us is we come into each game and we're not too sure about tactics. We're not too sure about team selection. But for me, personally, I think we need to get the same tactics and the same team out week in, week out. We are at the results end of we're now past halfway, and we need to start getting results. We're sitting in the bottom three. We're in 2018. We've got the schedule just starts kicking in again. We've got the FA Cup games coming in, and we need to start picking up points, guys.
Yeah, we do nothing there.
Yeah, I mean,
FA Cup.
We literally need to pick up points, because if we don't, we're going down. And results haven't gone for us. Swansea had a great victory the other day. Rich, any thoughts on it?
Yeah, you're right. The teams in and around us have been picking up points. Bournemouth got a point today. Palace have been picking up points. The teams in and around us are getting results. Obviously, the Swansea win, which makes this game against West Brom even bigger. This is an absolute 6 points if there ever was one, because West Brom are so low on confidence, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And we quite simply have to win, because if we lose this game, we are doomed, in my opinion, because that just shows if you can't beat West Brom at home, then what chance do you have of staying in the division? Going back to the Pardew thing, I was at the stage where I didn't want Moyes that much that I said I'd take Pardew over Moyes. And you know what, Moyes has done a good job, and credit to him. I know it's controversial to say Pardew over Moyes, but that was just my opinion at the time. I thought Pardew, he's got a lot of respect for West Ham. He likes the club, he likes the fans. I liked him. I thought he did well, getting us to a final and everything. So yeah, he knows a lot about the club, and he'll know about the players. He'll know how to line up against us. But Moyes has just got to make sure, stay compact, let the likes of Masuaku and Arnautovic go on their runs, do the business. And quite frankly, we need to win tomorrow, and we will win tomorrow.
I love that positive attitude. And do you know what? That's what we all need as West Ham fans. 2018. Let's see if we can turn something around and try and turn our season around and try and turn our club around. Because I tell you what, it's not helping. The factor is, yeah, we're going slightly off topic here, but our boards, or our Miss Karen Brady, who decides to come out in public and kind of pretty much slate her employee who's currently on loan at Aston Villa, who's banging in goals left, right and centre. Robert Snodgrass, what's your thoughts on that, guys? Richard first.
Oh my word, don't get me started on Brady. She is an absolute joke. How you can come out and release and publish stuff like that, slating players that you bought, and it's an employee of the club. It's just pathetic, really. No other club says things and leaks things to the media about their players. I mean, it's just it's a banter club. Absolutely ridiculous. How we have allowed Brady to do that crap, and our owners love talking to media. They love throwing players under the bus, throwing managers under the bus. It's just pathetic. I need to start unfollowing David Gold and Karen Brady, because the things they tweet and the stupid shit they say, it's pathetic. Put yourself in Fonte and Robert Snodgrass's shoes, knowing that you're at a club where the board don't want you at the club. It's just awful, really. Pathetic. Can't stand a lot of them. Luke.
To say it would surprise me would be very far from the truth.
Yeah, true.
Reading it's one of them things where it's like, well, what else can they say? Not being fun. Look, as fans, we've all thought it. We've all criticised players. We've all looked at the horse shit. I was going to Villa, I see you later. Oh yeah, keep him for us over there, will you? Because he hasn't really done that much. Okay, he was a hard-working player. He never pulled the grift up. But the difference is that as fans, we're allowed that unprofessional approach to a player. We can give them a bit of grief. We can say this and all that over Twitter. But you need to have some. If you're an owner, if you own the fucking club, I know she's not obviously part of that stand. She's just part of the group. You can't say things like that in the media. And I think Snodgrass has been told about things before, and he's gone, well, I'm not. You're telling me as if I'm surprised. So the players know it. They're not looking going, oh, what's this about me now? No. They're not surprised about it at all. They know what they're like. And the funny thing is that they'll say these things, and I read it, and I read the paragraph itself in the way she was saying it. I think she was basically saying is that we'll try and get a good win together, and we'll try and get the right players in. Obviously Snodgrass wasn't a triumph, was he? It was like trying to conclude it. But my point is the fact that if you go and buy players in a desperate situation for desperation money, you then can't lambast the players for how they've played. It's like you can say, okay, you now have to take responsibility for buying those players, and that's the complete kind of they hold their hands up going, okay, do you know what, we did get it wrong, we'll try and do it better now. But they're going, we did get it wrong, didn't we, Snoddy? Hey, you have been shit, yeah? Tell them, admit, yeah, you've definitely been shit, yeah, top man, alright, yeah, so he admits with me. So it's like that. It's the most pathetic, trying to throw people under the bus, So not surprised, and I'm going to wait for more of it, and there's going to be a hell of a lot more. Don't expect this to stop. This will be a more continuing thing.
Yeah,
so,
and look, you make a valid point. I don't think we are surprised by it, but the thing that shocks me the most is that they genuinely just don't seem to care how much this could potentially have knock-on effects to our club, even at the
ego.
Even at when we play. Like, if you're any of those players on that park who are I don't know, just a West Ham player in general, and your board are up there doing all the dodgy dealings they're doing, talking out loud about players, having an unprofessional opinion, the board don't care.
I don't know. I don't think the players care. I don't think the players give a shit. I think the players go out there and they're 60 grand a week and go, all right, say shit about it, I don't give a shit.
See, I
Fonte don't really give a shit. Fonte hasn't had it. Fair enough. Before getting set up,
yeah.
Fonte's been at least a month. This Sullivan and Fonte thing has been going about for a little while now, at least a month. He knows the winter's coming up, right? He's on a good wage at West Ham, whatever. In my opinion, if I'm still at the club and I'm along the left, and I can see that I'm at a certain age, whatever, I'm still a Portuguese international, all the rest of it, and he hasn't had any transfer request yet. So that tells me that he's either going to try and put himself on the shop window when he is fit, or he's thinking, oh, I'm going to shit. Yeah, I've been shit, but it's like, who cares if I'm shit? I'm still earning 60 grand a week or whatever I'm earning. I don't think the players give a shit. I think the players are going to try and earn what they can, get what they can for the end of the season, then they'll be off.
I think some players. I do think some players do give a shit in terms of, I think they collect their paychecks, etc. But players still want to win stuff, and a lot of talk saying Coati doesn't care about a club. He might not care about a club, but he cares about playing football week in, week out. And I think all these players do care about playing football week in, week out, unless you're 36, 37, coming to the end of your career, collecting a paycheck, etc. But I just think the whole thing just rotten, as we've always said, and we're probably not. Yeah. I think it's really worthwhile, and I think we're going to do it, and we've all our guys have spoken about it. We're going to do kind of a transfer special maybe over the next week about where we talk about kind of players we want to come in, players we want to come out. So we'll ask who's people's opinions, etc., and who we realistically think is going to come in, realistically think is going to come out. But listen, we've talked about the West Ham West Brom game. We're not too sure about the lineups. Players: Reed's fit, Ogbonna's in, Rice is there, Oxford's there, Zabaleta, Cresswell, Masuaku, Noble, late fitness test, Coati, Obiang, Lanzini's back. I mean, we've got an opportunity, for me personally, to line up with Lanzini, Arnautovic, Hernandez, Obiang, Coati, protect, spray passes. I know, but it does sound nice. Masuaku crossing the ball in, Carroll coming off the bench. Yeah. That's just what we want to see, I think, as fans. I could be wrong in saying that, but I believe that's what most fans would want to see. And I'd be disappointed if I just saw Arnautovic on the team sheet. I'm buzzing that he's there, obviously, but I just don't want to see him on his own. He needs a little bit of support up top, like we always do. But look, you made a valid point earlier on, and you said something there about. I just think our issue is we don't know how to actually manage players, big players when they come in, or players in general. You look at Zaza. I mean, he was on a contract. He had to play 11 to 14 games to win a contract. I mean, what are we doing as a football club? Like, it's like after 5 games we've judged them, but most clubs get longer than 5 games to make a start. Do they have to bang a hat trick in the first game to be able to prove that they're a good player?
Some do. Some do.
Yeah, some do. But
Probably,
is there any kind of last points before we get on to the predictions?
Nothing really.
Nah.
We've covered most things.
Yeah, and it is New Year, so we want to go and finish off our New Year's Day by continuing to have a little tipple or 10, and maybe you can have yourself some night nurse look and get yourself a really good
Lemsip, mate. Lemsip's
but let's get on to it. Predictions for the game tomorrow night at London Stadium, and we'll start with yourself, Luke.
I knew you'd be the fucking go to the first time you go to I don't know, it's a weird one with West Brom. I think it's either going to be a really high scoring one or it's going to be a no scoring at all. I think there could be more goals in it, so I think I'm probably going to go for something like 3-1 West Ham. Got to be positive, have to be positive. If I don't, I'm just going to. Anyway, and out of it, she'll definitely get one. He's got to. He's on fire. I think maybe even Masuaku will get one. And possibly, I don't know, maybe 2 for Arnautovic. Go 2 for Arnautovic and 1 for Masuaku. Just put it out there. Why not?
Get your bets on, Rich.
Oh, my watch.
I'm with Luke. I think we'll win, but I also think we'll concede. So I reckon 2-1 to the Hammers. Arnautovic going to score. Yes, he will, because he's my captain on fantasy this week, so he will score.
Pressure.
So yeah, Arnautovic to score, and then Big Andy's going to. I don't think he'll start to come off the bench and get a goal for us. 2-1 win. West Ham coming on.
Excellent. We've had a guy, Josh, come on YouTube channel, and he's saying 3-1 West Ham, same as you, Luke. He's gone for 2 for Arnautovic and 1 for Lanzini. I'm going to go for a 3-2 West Ham win, only if Arnautovic and Hernandez are starting up top, and if they are not starting up top together, I'm just going to go for a 1-0 victory to West Ham. So give me 2 predictions, 2 wins though. But listen, we just need to get behind the team, get behind the squad, not get behind our board, because I certainly ain't behind our board. But I'll get behind our team 100%. Really? Have I told you that before? No. But yeah, guys, it's been great having you back on again. I know you think it's great having me on. I've thanked myself.
We love you.
Thank you, Edson.
So listen, for all you viewers out there, please keep subscribing, share all our stuff on social media. We really want to get to 1,000 subscribers. We've been around for, 4 months is it? On YouTube, we're sitting at nearly like 960 subscribers or something like that, which is really massive. Really good shout out to you guys. We've got loads of giveaways coming up before the end of the season, thanks to our partners at Umbro, who have done us massive gains and massive favours throughout the whole season. I like that.
Gotta do it.
I can't do it. I've got the old one on. But we're gonna do a transfer special. And we'll just get as many people on as possible. Listen, we've had loads of guests on. If you're interested in coming in, send us a message on our social media sites. Let us know if you're interested in coming on to any videos. And then obviously we'll be back tomorrow with the review of the game, and then we'll have a preview coming out for the Spurs game really quickly, and then we've got Shrewsbury. It's like non-stop, left, right and centre.
What more could you want? What more could you want?
Yeah, it's that time of year. So Richie has said, come on, what's he said? 3 points for the Hammers, 3 points for the Hammers, and Josh has come back in and saying, come on you Irons. So yes, we are Irons United. That's Rich in the middle, that's Luke over the far side, I'm Anton, and we are West Ham. Come on you Irons.
Yeah.